Human hid in Muscular Alien Girls Laundry to escape debt collectors. Then got busted. The hamper. Steam breathed from the vents like a dragon under the city, rolling along the tile of Block 7's industrial laundry. Rian slipped inside with a hand clamped over his mouth, the echo of boots and the bark of the debt collectors fading in the corridor behind him. Shut door, he whispered, shouldering the hatch until the latch kissed metal. He stood still, listening. The room thumped with the rhythm of spin cylinders. Bundles of training uniforms, thick slate-blue tunics and wide sashes, were heaped everywhere like sleeping mountains. A neon sign buzzed. Worxian Power Academy. Dormitory Laundry. He had seen them on Holos. The Wyrixians, taller than humans, muscled like statues, famous for competitions that shook arenas. Another shout in the corridor. Rian dove into the nearest rolling cart and pulled a mound of damp uniforms over his head. The smell of starch and mineral water filled his nose. He curled into the small space between a coil of line and a stack of towels and tried not to sneeze. The hatch opened. Heavy steps. Two voices, foreign and resonant. "Training wraps," said one, her tone amused. "Or is this cart breathing?" Rian held his breath until his lungs ached. Then a hand, large, warm, plunged into the pile and closed around his collar. He surfaced, sputtering, face to face with a Wyrixian woman whose shoulders looked carved from basalt. Her slate hair was braided back and her golden eyes crinkled with annoyance and, strangely, curiosity. "You're not a rap," she said. "You're a problem. Too busted." They hauled him out like a soaked sheet and set him on a steel bench. 3 of them stood around. The one who'd grabbed him, broad and calm, name stitched at her collar. Larka, another with a quick grin and inked forearms called Sen, and a 4th older woman in a clean apron whose posture commanded the room. "I am Matron Jia," she said. "Explain why there is a human in my laundry before the collectors outside come looking." Rian swallowed. Lies hovered like gnats. He shooed them. "I owe money," he said. "The ledger hounds. I missed 2 payments. Ran. I saw the sign. I hid. Under my team's uniforms," Jia said, glancing at the damp pile he had ruined. "The irony is not subtle." Boots pounded past the door. A voice called. "We saw him duck into Block 7. Larka's golden eyes flicked to the hatch. "If they search in here, they'll knock over half the work we've done," she said. Jia's gaze sharpened. "Do you intend harm to my athletes, human?" "No," Rian said quickly. "I'll leave. I won't cause." "You already have," Jia said. "The spin cylinders are timed, the folds must be exact, and our tournament weigh-in is this evening. You have 2 choices. Run again and likely be caught, or earn air by fixing what you've messed. And if collectors arrive, you will not lie while under my roof." She handed him a bundle. "Apron. Start folding." Rian blinked. "You're letting me stay." "I am putting you to work," Jia corrected, already turning to shout instructions. "Sen, show him the crease patterns. Larka, bar the hatch. 3 work." Turned out Rian knew his way around machines. He had spent 2 years in a repair shop, the kind that kept illegal scooters humming and public dryers spinning. In minutes he had the stubborn spin cylinder purring. In an hour his folds were passable. The Wyrixians moved like a chorus line of strength, hauling baskets with one arm, laughing in tones that warmed the metal room, correcting his routine with patience that surprised him. "Why the hounds?" Sen asked over the hum. "They're leeches. I borrowed to get my trading license," Rian said. "Shipment was impounded. Fees ate the profits. The hounds didn't care about my bad luck." Larka tied a line overhead, her biceps tight ropes. They never do. She studied him, head tilted. Running makes a person smaller. Work makes them stand up. He kept his eyes on the folds. I didn't plan on shrinking, he said softly. For the knock. They heard the collectors before they saw them, the clatter of laminated boots, the oily chuckle of the overseer. The hatch rattled. Open by authority of. It's a dormitory laundry, Ja's voice cut through. You'll wait. We're here for the human, the overseer said. Rian solve. Defaulted. Rian's name sounded cold in the steam. Larka looked at him, not accusing, simply assessing. Truth, she murmured. No lies. Ja cracked the hatch. Two men stood there in leather coats, their wrists branded with the hound's ledger sigil. Other residents had paused in the hall, watching. Ja stepped out, Larka at her shoulder, Rian just behind them in his now damp apron. There he is, said the overseer. Kind of you to do our sorting. He is in my care, Ja said, voice like a folded blade. He ruined my afternoon and has spent it repairing that harm. Owes you. But you will not drag him from my floor. You will accept principal without illegal penalties, or we'll settle this at tournament council in front of every sponsor on the station. The overseer snorted. You think your muscles scare a contract? No, Larka said, rolling her shoulders. I think the law and 1,000 eyes do. The corridor had gone quiet. 24 Wyrixian athletes stood with arms folded, chalk-dusted and unblinking. Rian felt something shift in his chest, humiliation cooling into resolve. He stepped forward. His voice shook, but he kept it steady. I ran, he said. That was mine. I've got the principal. He pulled a worn credit tab from his pocket. He also had nothing else, but that didn't matter now. And I'll pay the rest legally. I'll sign a schedule that a council witness approves. The overseer eyed the crowd, the cameras on the ceiling, Ja's implacable stare. He bared his teeth. Fine. Principal now. Council tomorrow noon. If you miss. I won't, Rian said. The arena. They didn't sleep much. After the hounds left, the room grew warm with quiet talk and the metronome beat of late work. Rian helped polish the team's lifting belts, oiled the press hinges, and stenciled names on fresh sashes to replace the ones he'd crumpled. In the morning, Larka tossed him an orange. Eat, she said. Today is heavy for many reasons. The tournament seethed like a machine of its own. Crowds, sponsors, the clang of plates. Rian sat near the entrance while Ja's team lifted with calm precision. When Larka stepped onto the platform, she paused to find him in the stands. He raised a hand. She nodded once and turned to the bar. Her lift was a sunrise. Controlled, inevitable. The arena erupted. Rian didn't know why tears were in his eyes, but they were, and he let them fall. At noon, the council clerk stamped the schedule. The hounds muttered and accepted the reduced interest. Jacques countersigned as witness. It wasn't a miracle. It was paperwork, backed by a community that had decided not to look away. 6. The last fold. When it was done, Rian walked back through the laundry with Larka. Steam drifted like a blessing. I don't have a job, he said. The shop let me go when the hounds started sniffing around. You fold well, Larka said. And the machines like you. Ja could use a maintenance hand. Ja, who was waiting with a ledger of her own, didn't look up as she said, uniform stipend, meals, a cot by the back wall, and time off to deal with your schedule. Don't mistake this for charity. It is exchange. Earn it. Rian swallowed around the ache in his throat. Yes, matron. She finally glanced at him, the corner of her mouth flicking upward. First lesson, you don't hide in laundry. You stand in doorways. She tapped the hatch that had barred the collectors, preferably with friends on either side. Larka reached across the folding table and handed Rian a simple wooden clothespin with the Academy's crest stamped into it. Our teams carry these at competitions, she said. Not for luck. For reminder. Reminder of what? He asked. That even heavy things can be held by small, honest pressure. Rian closed his hand around the pin. The steam wrapped him warm and bright. He looked at the heaps of clean uniforms, at the door he wouldn't bolt through again, at the people who had seen him and decided he was worth the trouble. I was busted, he said, smiling a little at the honest word. And I think that saved me. Good, Larka said, shouldering a basket. Then let's get to work.